Hey everyone, welcome back to Daily Tuition. In this tutorial, I want to show you how you can create this amazing slider using just a CSS. We will use HTML to specify style to the element and leave the rest of the work to the CSS. So using just a CSS, we are going to create this amazing slider. We're also going to navigate to the different slides using this simple slider dots. So if you are a CSS developer and want to create a CSS slider, then this is what you want. So let's see how to create this amazing slider. So before taking your too much time, let's get started. So let's get started and create this slider using a simple HTML and CSS. So as you can see here, we have this Visual Studio Code editor, and in this editor, I'm going to have tutorial folder. In this folder, I'm going to have here asset folder, and in that folder, I have here 3 images. So if you want, you can add more than that, but I'm going to put only 3 to simplify this tutorial. Now in this tutorial folder, I'm going to create a new file and name this file index.html, and I'm going to just create here style.css file. So I'm going to just say here style.css to style the HTML elements. Now in index.html file, I'm going to create a simple HTML5 snippet and specify a title slider. Then I want to link style.css to this HTML, so I'm going to just say here link and just say here style.css. Because this style.css is in the root folder, I don't have to specify any path here. Let's get started and first create a structure of this slider. So I'm going to first create here a container class. So I'm going to just say here dot container. In this container, I'm going to create a slider. I'm going to wrap this slider in the division tag and name that division tag wrapper. So I'm going to just create here a division tag with the class wrapper. Now in this div, I'm going to have here a slider holder class that can hold different slides. I'm going to just create here slider holder class. Now in this slider holder, I'm going to have different slides. So I'm going to just create here a division tag, and in that division tag, I'm going to specify different data. So right here, I'm going to create here a division tag with the ID. So I'm going to just say here hash. So I'm going to just name my ID slider image 1. So when I press tab, I'm going to have here a division tag with the ID slider image 1. So this is my first slider. Now I want to duplicate this line. So I'm not going to copy it. Instead, I'm going to just press Shift Alt down. So this will duplicate these lines, right? Now just after that, I'm going to just change this ID to uniquely identify this division tag. So I'm going to just change this ID to slider image 2, and this became slider image 3. Now just after that, just after this wrapper right here, I'm going to have my slider dots. So I'm going to just create here a division tag with the class button holder. So I'm going to just say here button holder. Now in this division tag, I'm going to have 3 dots because as you can see, I have here 3 slides. So I'm going to create here 3 dots. So I'm going to just add here anchor tag with the class dots. And now I want to specify a href attribute to this anchor tag. What we want to do is, when the user click on this anchor tag, I want to navigate the user to this first division tag. So that is why I specify this ID to this div. So when I specify this ID to this href attribute, I can navigate the user to this div. So if I just say here hash and specify slider image 1, then when I click on this anchor tag, it is going to navigate to this division tag, right? As simple as that. Now I'm going to duplicate this anchor tag, and just after that, just change this ID. So I'm going to just say here slider image 2 and slider image 3. So using these anchor tags, you can navigate to these different slides. For example, if you click on this second anchor tag, this is going to navigate to this center division tag. Now just save the changes and let's move on to the style.css file. But before we move on, let's open this file in the live server. So I'm going to just right click here and say open with live server. So as you can see, we don't have anything here because we did not specify anything in these tags. So I'm going to just move on to the style.css file and just toggle this window on the right side right here. Now in the style.css file, I'm going to first select the body tag and just specify the background color to this body. So I'm going to select background and specify the liner gradient here. So I'm going to just say here liner gradient to right, and I want to specify here a color. So I'm going to just specify the hex value here. So I'm going to just specify my hex value, and the second value is going to be the light blue color. So I'm going to specify here light blue. When I save the changes, you can see I have this background color to this body section. Just after this body, I'm going to just select the wrapper class. So I'm going to first select the container and select wrapper class. And to this wrapper, I'm going to specify width and height. So I'm going to just say here width 70 viewport width, and I want to specify here height 75 viewport height. Save the changes, and you're not going to see anything here. To see this wrapper, I'm going to just specify here a border 1 pixel solid black. When I save the changes, you can see we have this wrapper class, and I'm going to just specify some margin to it to center this wrapper class. So I'm going to just say here margin 5 rem and auto. So this is going to center this wrapper class. When I save it, you can see I have this wrapper class at the center of this document. Just after that, I'm going to select slider holder class. So I'm going to first select the container and just say here slider holder. Now in this slider holder class, I'm going to specify display grid property to specify this is a grid layout. But before I specify any property to this slider holder class, I'm going to just select my division tags, these ones, and specify some background colors to this division tag. Because we didn't have any data in this division tag, we are going to specify a background color to this div to understand how the slider works. So I'm going to just specify here container, and just after that, I'm going to select this division tag using its ID. So I'm going to just say here # slider image 1. I'm going to select my first division tag and specify the background color. So I'm going to just say here background and specify the background color here. Just after that, I'm going to select container and select slider image 2 and specify background color. So I'm going to just say here background, and I want to specify here yellow color. So I'm going to just say here yellow, select the container again and specify here slider image 2 and just specify a background color. So I'm going to just say here background tomato. Save the changes, and just after that, let's implement this slider holder class. I'm going to just specify the slider holder as a display grid. So I'm going to just say here display grid, and I want to create here 3 columns of 100% width. So I'm going to just say here grid template columns, and I want to create 3 columns here. That is why I'm going to say here 100%, 100% and 100%. So this is going to create 3 columns in this wrapper. So you're not going to see anything here because we did not have any data in the division tag. So I'm going to just put here some data in this division tag. So I'm going to just say here slider 1, then specify slider 2, and then just say here slider 3. When I save it, you can see I have here 3 division tag. Oops, I need to just specify the background color to this slider 3. Yes, right here. I just need to change here slider image 3. Save the changes. Now as you can see here, I have 100% width to the first slider, 100% width to the second slider, and 100% width to the third slider. Now there is one more simple way to create these 3 columns instead of specifying this 100% 3 times. So I'm going to just get rid of this 100% and just call here repeat function. So I'm going to just say here repeat, and I want to create 3 columns of 100% width. Now to the first argument, I'm going to specify 3 because I want to create 3 columns here, and to the second argument, I'm going to specify 100%. I want to create 3 columns, so this function will create 3 columns of width 100%. Save the changes, and you're going to get the same result here. Now just after that, what I want to specify some height to this division tag. I'm going to just specify here height 100%. So as you can see, I have 100% width to this first, to this second, and to this third slider. Now just after that, I just want to style these dots. So I'm going to first specify some data to it. So I'm going to just say here dot 1, then specify here dot 2, and specify here dot 3. Save the changes, and you can see you have these dots right here. What I want to specify this dot at the bottom of this wrapper. So I'm going to just open the style.css file, and right here I'm going to just select the button holder class and put this dot at the center of this wrapper. So I'm going to select that. So I'm going to just here container and select button holder class, and to this holder I'm going to specify position absolute and just specify bottom 0. Save the changes. Just after that I want to specify left property, so I'm going to just say here left to center these dots, and I'm going to say here left 45%. Save the changes, and you can see this dot is center, but as you can see I want this dot right here inside this wrapper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the container class like this and specify here position relative. When I save it, you can see I have this dot inside this wrapper. Just after that I'm going to specify some style to this dot. So I'm going to select that. So I'm going to just see here container button holder and then select dots. To this dot I'm going to specify display property, which is inline block, then specify height 15 pixel and width is going to be 15 pixel. Just after that I'm going to specify here border radius. So I'm going to just say here border radius 3 rem and background color, and then specify background color. Save the changes, and you can see you have these 3 dots here. So now I can remove this data from these HTML elements. So if I just remove these dots like this, so if I remove this data from these dots, you can see I have 3 dots here like this. Now just after that I want to specify margin, so I'm going to just say here margin 0.4 rem and 0.3 rem. Save the changes, and you can see I have some margin between these dots. So now once we have this button, I can now navigate to my different slides. So if I just click on this first button, I'm going to have my first slide here, but this is not going to do anything because I have my first slide here. And if I click on the second dot, this is not going to do anything because I have my second slide here. But what if I click on this third dot? Now as you can see I have my second slide in the URL. Now if I click on this third dot, the scroller will move to the right side, and you can see you have your third slide here. So using these buttons you can navigate to different slides, but we need to add more functionality to this slider, so just give me a few minutes. What I want to just change these background colors, and I want to remove these hard-coded values, and instead specifying this background color I'm going to specify my images. So I'm going to just open the style.css file, and right here I'm going to specify image to this first division tag. So I'm going to just say here background URL, and I want to specify my first image. So I'm going to select my asset folder and select my first image here. Along with that I'm going to specify background size cover. Copy these properties, paste it to the second division tag, and just change this image like this. Do the same for the third division tag as well. Save the changes, and as you can see I have my 3 images here. Right? Now I can remove this text, so I can just open my index.html file and just remove this text, and just back to your style.css file right here. Now what I want to add a sliding functionality to the slides using CSS. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use keyframes to add this functionality. So I'm going to just add here a keyframe. So I'm going to just say here keyframe and specify a name to this keyframe. So I'm going to just say here slide, and at the 0% I want to specify transform property to translate x 0%. So the translate x property will move the slider to the right side, but I want to move the slider on the left side, so I'm going to specify minus value to this transform property. Just after that I'm going to just duplicate this statement like this and just specify here 10%, and just after that I'm going to specify here 100%. So now if I save the changes and apply this animation to the wrapper class, if I just specify this animation to this class, so if I just say here animation, specify the name of my animation, so I'm going to just say here slide, I'm going to just say here 15 seconds, and the easing function is going to be ease. I'm going to get rid of everything, save the changes. Now as you can see, the slider is moving image from the right to the left. Now what I want to move this image on the left side. So I'm going to specify minus 100% to this div. So I'm going to just say here minus 100%, and along with that, and just copy this statement, and for the 100%, I'm going to specify 0% here. Save the changes. Now just after that, I'm going to duplicate this statement again, and to the 40%, I want to specify transform translate x to 100%. Save the changes. This is going to move the slider, and as you can see here, I have my third slide here, right? Now just after that, I want to hold these images, so I'm going to just duplicate these statements like this, and to the 22nd, I'm going to leave the property as it is, and to the 32nd, I'm going to leave the properties as it is. And you can see here, this will take some time right here, and just move to the third slide, right? Now I'm going to do the same for my third slide as well. So I'm going to just duplicate it like this for the 50% and 60%. I'm going to leave all these properties as it is. Save the changes. This will take some time to the second slide and also to the third slide, right? And then move to the first slide like this. I'm going to just duplicate this statement like this, and to the 70%, 80%, duplicate this statement again, and to the 90%, I'm going to specify 0% like this. So this will hold the first image, and after a few seconds, this will move to my second slide. Save the changes, and as you can see, this will take some time here. Then move to the next slide. This will take some time here as well, and then move to my first slide here. Now just after that, I want to specify infinite scrolling to this animation. So I'm going to just open the wrapper class and specify here infinite. Save the changes. When I save it, you can see the slider is now infinite. Right? Now what I want to hide all these overflow content from this wrapper. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to just add overflow property to this wrapper. So to the wrapper class, I'm going to specify overflow property hidden. So when I save it, you can see I have this type of result. So as you can see here, the wrapper is moving to the left side. I don't want this type of result. Now to solve this problem, instead specifying this animation to this wrapper class, get rid of this animation from here and specify that to this slider holder class like this. Save the changes, and as you can see, you have your simple slider. Right? Now I just wanted to remove this border, so I'm going to just remove it like this. And just after that, let's say I want to navigate to my third slide. So if I just click on this third dot like this, I can now navigate to my third slide here. And the last, I want to specify some shadow to this wrapper class. So I'm going to just say here box shadow, and just say here 1 pixel, 2 pixel, 30 pixel, and I want to specify RGB A color 0, 0, 0 and 0.562. And as you can see, I have the shadow to this wrapper class. Now if you open the developer tool and inspect your application, if I open my developer tool, as you can see here, this slider is completely responsive, right? This slider can work on desktop, tablet, and also on the mobile version as well. So that's it. That is all for this tutorial. I hope you understand how to create this slider using a simple CSS. So if you have any question, you can ask me anytime in the comment section. You can request me any tutorial in the comment section. That is all for now. I will see you in the next tutorial.